Welcome to Life's About Living. I'm Dr. Page, the best guy to see on the worst day.
Well, you know what good one's coming today.
Well, you just don't know what Joe's going to say.
No,
Here's Joe Pettigrew.
Something good's
Joe, I'm
coming
just
today.
going to let you go.
We
Go for it.
live in Texas. There ain't a hotter place. I don't care what anybody says. There's not a hotter place in the world than where we live. I don't believe.
Best place to be, man.
So
the
every
Republic of Texas.
130 years, the Lord decides to send in a snowstorm, an ice storm.
Global warming, yeah.
And when it does, you can't believe the sights you see around here.
Well, yeah, I know. So, I know people from, wherever, from Minnesota and Michigan and up in...
Oh, but they got all this equipment.
They laugh
stuff.
at us. I mean, yeah, we don't have all that stuff.
There's on television on that there was those yard spreaders like you spread fertilizer in. These guys
We've got
sand.
a lot of those.
They had salt or something in it, and they were spreading them on the bridge of an overpass.
You mean like when you pull behind a tractor?
Yes, just to try to get something down. I went outside and I saw this thing coming down the road. I didn't know what it was. It was like a rolling snowball. You couldn't see anything. All you could see was just a big old white ball.
Explain.
And then in the very front,
snowball.
where the windshield would be, there was about a 1 foot hole that they had dug out so they could see out of the front.
What was it? Was it a snowplow?
It was a car. They just had taken.
Oh.
They had not cleaned the windows off. They didn't know to. They're
Well, they know the way. I mean,
they're worried about number one. That's all they were worried about. But no, we really had a mess down here.
We did, man. We had some folks that were freezing to death. What about happened? You said you went to visit a friend and he had 10 blankets on or something. I think we talked about that in another show.
We really had a lot of that. But the things that we got to understand too. People that are listening to this show, they got it a lot worse than we do. They'll have this all the time. So.
Absolutely. But they're prepared for it.
That's right. The town that we live in, I'm not sure, and this is not degrading the town, but I don't even think we have a snowplow. I don't think we have those big road graders.
It may snow once in 3 or 4 years here in East Texas.
So when things like this happen, I think there's something that happens to the human spirit. And that is, the first thing is, we realize that God is slowing us down, whether we want to be slowed down or not.
And we just got to go with the flow.
And we can't stand it. We want to get out. We want to go somewhere. Walmart is calling. We got to go somewhere. And really what we're saying is, why don't you just enjoy being inside and being by yourself and being stuck for a while.
Yeah, well, Joe, control is just an illusion from an earthly standpoint,
Well, that's right. And the other thing down here, people don't know what to wear.
No.
I mean, people down here will wear shorts when it's 12 degrees outside.
Well, I've got a 12-year-old boy that does that anyway. I can't get him to wear breeches. I don't know what to do.
How about this one? I saw a man, now this takes the loot. I mean, this guy might have even been a surgeon, I don't know, but he got his car stuck.
Thanks, Joe.
So he went inside his house and he got his welding torch and he was down there right behind his back tires, getting rid of the snow so he could get out, which turned into nothing but solid ice, and he didn't go anywhere.
Man, that was a mess.
But I wonder sometimes, how people cope with this that do live way up in the north that are
it's just every day for them
all the time.
It's just every day for them. Something though that I thought about too, and I've talked to a lot of senior adults. 50 years ago, they didn't have a weatherman that could predict the weather.
That's
Nobody
right.
knew. They didn't have all this stuff. I mean, a lot of people. I was talking to a guy at church the other day that said that his grandpa didn't even have running water up into the 1970s, 1980s.
And we just forget all about that. No,
but they just were resilient. They just knew how to. They just hunkered down and did their best.
I know we were without power here for about 5-6 days, and we had a fireplace that kept us warm, and we ran an extension cord from next door because he had power. Because I got to make sure my computer's alive and my cell phones work. I mean, we got to make sure the essentials are alive. But sometimes I think we just forget how far we have come. On our last show, we talked about all the things that have happened in the last 10 years.
Right.
But we never forget this. It can all stop in a second.
Yeah. Joe, don't you think don't you think we take so many things for granted?
Oh, yes.
I mean, and I know that sounds probably stupid to you people from New England or whatever, where it snows 8 feet of snow, but we take things for granted every day that we need to stop and be more thankful about.
Yeah,
Don't you think, Joe?
well, we do. And, I think if one thing the weather does, it really brings this into play, and that is, Chuck, you're not really in control of anything. There's somebody that's in control of everything. And so, but when we can't get out and we can't go to the grocery store and we can't do that, this lack of control, especially I think men are worse than women sometimes.
Well, think about the old pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, there's this whole thing, I think as Americans, we struggle with this because we want to control, we want to micromanage everything in our lives.
We do. And we want to do it in a way to where we keep moving forward. It's like this race that we're in. And we got to hurry up. And I think sometimes the world's just saying, slow down.
Yeah.
Take a breath.
Well, I think that's one of those things that we learn. And over time, I think we learn to slow down and appreciate, those moments.
That's right.
Like when you're with your grandkids and they climb up in your lap. And I don't have grandkids. You have grandkids. But I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, but for those folks out there that are watching today that have seen or have funnier stories than we do about what's happening, especially in the South.
Right.
Because I think it's different in the South when we get snow than it is up in the North.
Yeah, it is.
And
share with us
how crazy people. But you always hear these fantastic stories too. I read a story the other day about a young lady in a small town that walked a mile in the snow to get to her job as a nurse's aide at a nursing home.
Wow, dude, that is dedication.
Now we
that's
still
old,
got
man,
people
that's
like
old
that.
School, man.
Yeah, but we got people like that.
That's
and
old
we
school.
got people that are checking on their neighbors next door when things like
Absolutely.
this happen. And we've got things. So one of the things I want to just suggest is if you're in the middle of bad weather, which you might be, if it's not, it's probably coming or whatever. This could be a great time for you to get involved in the lives of people around you.
Right, just look around. I mean, you don't have to go very far.
That's right, because there are people out there that, you just keep forgetting. If you lose your electricity and you lose your water and you're living by yourself, and man, that's a tough day.
Yeah.
That's a real tough day.
I know we had a lady, a friend of ours, she has 4 kids. She's a single mother with 4 kids and a new baby. Didn't have any water.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
So one of the things, let's talk about on the kind of the positive side of this, and that is this. I was talking to somebody the other day, and she was about 75, and she said, I've only seen maybe 6 inches of snow in my whole life living down here.
Maybe once or twice, yeah.
And so this was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
And so how do we celebrate even the things that seem like they're negative to us, Joe?
Yeah.
That snow was sent here for us to celebrate.
Right. Well, for us, it snows. First of all, school's out, so the kids are going nuts.
Oh, man, I hate it.
Man, we're doing snow angels. We made a big kind of an igloo. We took these big boxes and made,
You say
made an
we,
igloo.
you mean you
me
made
and the
your
boys.
kids.
Me and the boys. Well,
Yeah.
I was supervisor. You got to have a supervisor of a
that's right.
project. But so, hey, by the way, I think one of the things, if you've got a story that you want to share, once again, Life's About Living is about people telling your stories. And that's going to be some of the people that you're going to see in the next lineup telling their stories. If you've got a story to tell, look on our contact page at lifesaboutlivingshow.com. And, just go through the bot there. It goes through all the videos showing you how to do a video. And think about maybe sharing your story. Or if you've got a video with your snow experience maybe or a funny experience, just drop it on our contact page and we may put it on the show.
Well, because the thing that the show is built around, and that is that people have had greater experiences than we two have.
Absolutely.
And the common guy, the common lady, the common person out there has a story to tell.
Yeah, behind the scenes folks.
And there are people out there right now that are doing unbelievable things with all this weather crisis we've had.
Absolutely.
But we don't ever hear about it.
You know what my
Because television
Yeah.
used to tell us about that, right?
Yeah.
Now
well,
all
I-
they tell us is bad
I
stuff.
know. You know, my pastor had a great story. So they had they got together, several of the churches and the community and the city got together, and was making chicken spaghetti. And no one had any water or electricity. Well, it turned on at our church for about an hour, and they went and made all this. I mean, they made 100 pounds of chicken spaghetti.
Wow.
And then when they were done, guess what? The gas turned off and the lights turned off. It was just one of those
That's amazing.
one of those moments where where God provided what
Well,
they
but
needed.
that's the
And
kind
so,
of stories we'd like to hear from
Yeah.
from our viewers, because every time I go somewhere, we have at least I have trouble. I tend to do a lot of talking and not very much listening, but when
I've never noticed that, Joe.
But when we listen, we have people that say things, and you sit there and you think, the American spirit is still alive and well, just as much as it ever has been. It is alive and well because people still care about each other. Yeah, I've heard all the stuff on television, and you have too, and riding at the white, whatever, but the American spirit, people taking care of each other, is still alive and well.
Everybody has something to bring to the table. Hey, I hope you like this lineup that we've got on the show. I think you're going to like our guests, Joe.
I do too.
They're good. So once again, if you've got a story to tell, Life's About a Living Show contact page, and leave a link or leave a message with us. I'm Dr. Page, and this is
Joe Pettigrew, and thank you very much for watching.